I think this movie I possibly went in with too high of expectations.
I was definitely expecting something more dramatic.
When whenever I see someone like that big, I want to fight them. See how long I can last before I die.
Dwayne Johnson put on 40 pounds of muscle. That's crazy.
If you didn't take steroids back then, it felt like bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Dr. Strangelove is the basis for Dr. Scratchy
Scratch and
Sniff.
sniff, yeah.
Yeah, in Animaniacs.
The sentence itself is so ironic. It reminded me of something that'd be like in a Gene Wilder film. Yeah! That's so awesome. I was just talking about how much I want to watch that movie. Real quick, everybody, before this episode starts, we just wanted to tell you guys from the bottom of our hearts that we love you guys, and we would really love it if you loved us too. That's a weird way to say that.
Yeah, that is weird. That's okay. We love you.
No, but for real, if you like this podcast and you want to support us, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, give us a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or what else are we on? Amazon. Do those things for us, and we would truly, truly appreciate it. Yeah. I think that's all. Yeah, that's all. So do that, please. Okay, bye. Thanks.
Cinema Rolls Podcast.
Welcome to the Cinema Rolls Podcast. Today we are discussing and talking about and reviewing The Smashing Machine. It is directed by Benny Safdie. It's written by Benny Safdie. It stars Dwayne Johnson, formerly known as The Rock, Emily Blunt, and Ryan Bader. You wanna tell them what it's about?
Yes, it's the story of Mark Kerr, former UFC fighter. He was a pioneer of the sport. Yeah, it's just about his life, struggle with drugs, and his relationship with his girlfriend. Yeah,
That's
that's it.
what it's about. How'd you like this movie, Eric?
I liked it. I thought it was really good. I liked Dwayne Johnson. That he did really good for this serious role that he's doing. Emily Blunt did great. She I did not like her character. She was a terrible person.
Yes.
But she's a great actress. And I liked Ryan Bader, right?
Yeah,
Is
Ryan Bader,
the other guy. He's an actual UFC fighter.
Yep.
And he played the role of his buddy, and he did a good job. He's a pretty decent actor.
Yeah. Cool. I wanted to tell everyone, Eric and I actually did this episode already, and we had some technical difficulties, so we're redoing it. So if we seem a bit unenthusiastic about certain things, it's because we've already discussed this once before.
Yeah.
But all right, The Smash Machine. I liked it a lot. I think it was very well made. It's very well done. Benny Safdie is a really good director. He's really good at creating very raw and visceral and unnerving scenes. And this was his first movie by himself without his brother Josh Safdie. As I'm saying this, I'm not actually sure which mind it was that is just like really creating the like raw, visceral, unnerving scenes and stories, but you still get a bit of that in this movie, I think, as well. It feels like their other movies. Yeah. They love their like slow zooms. They love zooming in really slowly as the scene builds to a climax. They love pulling out slowly as well. They love putting the camera right in the actors' faces, and it makes the audience sometimes a bit uncomfortable, but it also gives the actors a chance to really shine and show emotion, and it makes us sit with what feels like real, raw human moments. And I love that. I think this movie, I possibly went in with too high of expectations. And I'm not saying at all that it was bad because I liked the movie. I think just because I love the Safdie brothers and their other films, though, I think I went in with a bit of certain expectations, I guess. Um, uh, they I think my knowledge of them and then their movies just it let this one down for me a bit. Yeah, their other movies, they don't really have happy endings, and this movie doesn't necessarily have a happy ending either. But it's not like a terrible ending. It's kind of just like life goes on.
Yeah. Kind of
And
learns to deal with life. Right.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it was good. I was expecting something different as well. I was expecting something a little more tragic. I didn't know Mark Kerr's story, so I didn't know what was going to happen.
same.
But I was definitely expecting something more dramatic than
Yeah,
what it was. Yeah.
yeah, agreed. And yeah, like in their other films, their characters, the main character is like on a downward path, downward spiral, and
Mhm.
it's the climax is like the very rock bottom for them, pretty much usually.
Mhm.
And with Uncut Gems, it's kind of both at the same time. It's like he's at the pinnacle of his gambling career, but at the same time, it's also the end of his life, you know? So
Mhm.
um, it's in a way rock bottom because it's over now, you know? But still, it's a very tragic ending. And so I was expecting something very tragic with this movie. And I think the way they direct their films, it's very good for that kind of story.
Mhm.
They're shaky handheld cameras, the like really close up shots of people's faces. Uh, it gives a sense of stress and anxiety, like something really bad is about to happen. And
Yeah.
so throughout this movie, I kept feeling like something terrible was about to happen, and like nothing really all that bad happened. Like it's still there's still things that like obviously really probably as an actual person dealing with these things really rough, like really hard, like dealing
Mhm.
with addiction, dealing with a crazy girlfriend who is borderline suicidal or homicidal or whatever. That's rough. I'm not at all saying that's not tragic, but it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like Uncut Gems tragic. So I think the
Right.
way they shoot their movies, it makes you feel like that's about to happen. And so I was just kind of sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for something like that to happen, and it never did. And
Yeah.
so the ending felt very anticlimactic to me.
Mhm.
And I get why they did it because it's based on a true story, and like in real life, he didn't die. In real life, he didn't relapse. Maybe as I don't know, I
Mhm.
don't know his whole story, but in the movie, he didn't relapse. Um, he stayed on the straight and narrow, and
He had a beer later from what we saw, but he
right,
didn't go
yeah,
back to the hard stuff. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, um, and I don't see Benny Safdie being the kind of person that will um retell a story just to make it extra dramatic,
Yeah.
just for cinema's sake. I think
Mhm.
he's the kind of person that really deals with realism and loves realism, so he's gonna tell it exactly how it happened. And sometimes the way life is, exactly how it happens isn't exactly the best climactic story, you know.
Right.
That being said, I loved Dwayne Johnson. He uh killed it in this movie, and I told Natalie, and like I told you in our last episode that we recorded, Eric, there was times like with The Rock, every time I'm watching a Rock movie, I know in the back of my mind, even if he's playing whatever character, he'd be playing on the Jungle Cruise, he could be playing in the Fast and Furious, like Hobbs' character, he could play whatever character he's playing. In the back of my mind, I'm like, that's The Rock. It's The
Yeah.
Rock. He kind of plays a similar character in almost every movie. It's The Rock. But in this movie, there was times where I almost forgot I was watching The Rock. Like he was doing so good. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the prosthetics helped you know.
Yeah.
But his acting was so good that I forgot I was watching The Rock at times, and I think that kind of acting is like peak acting when you can
Yeah.
make the audience forget that you're an actor, that you're somebody else on the other side. And he's such an icon. He's what I described as he Mickey Moused himself.
Yeah.
Like he became his own brand. You know, he is just as iconic as I think Mickey Mouse or like Bugs Bunny. You know, and everybody knows who he is, from my daughter to my dad. You know.
Yeah. He did what Stan Lee did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Stan Lee is an icon, and he
Yeah,
made
he is in the
himself.
way Mickey Mouse
Yeah.
of Marvel. You know.
Yeah. Like Spider-Man and like Wolverine are those two. Like they're huge
Sure.
characters
Yeah.
for him, but also everyone knows Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that's the same thing with The Rock, whereas everyone knows wrestling, but you also associate Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, as uh, the wrestling like WWE, like he is the face of that franchise.
Right. Yeah. That and also too, just even if you did, like, I didn't really watch wrestling. I knew of him from
Yeah.
wrestling because our family liked wrestling.
Yeah.
And they were like our grandpa and our cousins and stuff. So I knew of a lot of wrestlers, but I myself didn't really watch it. But even then, just acting and too, just being in so many movies, he's done so many different genres. Well, mostly like comedy and action, and like kids movies. But I think those three genres have like a widespread audience, you know.
Yeah.
So, and then on top of that, he owns like what, like 5 businesses, you know. So like,
Yeah.
and he markets those businesses with himself. So he is the brand, you know.
Yeah. He's one of the few like big celebrities, like I had said before, like before at the theater, a name would sell a movie. People would just come up and say, I want to watch the Robin Williams movie. They didn't know
Right.
what the title of the movie was. And that's kind of like how The Rock is. Like people will show up just for Dwayne Johnson. That's he's going by now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's that. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
You want to move into ratings?
Ratings, yes. I said, yeah, I will give this movie an 8. It's a solid film. Directing's great. Like I said, all the actors did great in it, and Rock's performance is it's really what propels this movie for me. Like that's the best part of it, even though everyone else does great. And that's why I'll give it an 8. But like I said, I was expecting something different. Then it's a little lackluster. Like so, for me, that's why I give it an 8 and not like a 9. But yeah.
Agreed. I'm right there with your brother. I also am going to give this movie an 8, and I think it was a very obvious and honest answer on my part, just because right after the movie, I was driving home and I was talking to Natalie about it, and I was like, yeah, I think maybe just the story wasn't as good cinematically as I think maybe Benny Safdie hoped it would have been.
Mhm.
Still a solid story. It's just, you know, and I think also too, like I said, my expectations were not what I got, and perhaps it's my fault, but The Rock's performance for me saved it. I think if it wasn't for that, I think it would have been more like a 7 at most, just because technically speaking, it's really well made. But
Yeah.
it's just the story wasn't really knocking it out of the park for me, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then let's move on to fun facts. I forget, Eric, did you have any fun facts for this movie?
I don't think I did. Did I?
I'm trying to remember my fun facts. I forgot what they were.
I remember one of your fun facts.
All right, you can tell it for me.
You said that that Dwayne Johnson put on 40 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, 40
For the
pounds of
role?
muscle.
That's crazy.
Which is insane. Like it's like he's already a massive dude.
Yeah.
And to put on 40 pounds more muscle than what he already has is kind of scary, yo.
Yeah.
Like, he is, he's, throughout the movie, like, I think you were saying it to you the last time, Eric, was, like, being around somebody like that is, like, his presence is scary because he's just a monster of a human being.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying in that scene, the montage from training when he's like creeping towards the camera, like that'd be so scary to have a guy that big, like
Yeah.
coming at you like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want no trouble. Leave me alone, monster.
I was telling you last time too that whenever I see someone like that big, like that monstrous, like I want to fight them just because like I already know I'm gonna lose. I just want to like see how long I can last before I die. You know, like before he kills me. You know, like
Yeah. I said that's Goku mentality.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I really think it's just being the younger brother and then having two brothers that were much older than I was that would just kick my ass pretty much. And I was saying like when with Carlos he'd actually play around and like play with me, but like I feel like you didn't want to play with me, so you would end it really quickly, like really abruptly, like a
Yeah.
solid donkey kick to the stomach or something, like.
Yeah. Now, I remember when I did that to you.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I remember just chasing after you down the hallway, and you
Yeah.
just donkey kicked me in my stomach.
Yeah. You were bothering me. I don't know why or what for. And I was just like trying to get to my room and you wouldn't leave me alone. So I was just like, all right. You just
This
threw
is
my
over.
leg back. Yeah.
This ends now.
Yeah.
More fun facts. I was listening to the Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan had a podcast with the actual Mark Kerr. Mark Kerr was talking about back in those days in the beginning of UFC and Pride. There wasn't any testing really for HGH for steroids.
Yeah.
So he said that everyone was doing it, which is why Mark Kerr was so massive, And I was surprised to see there wasn't any steroid use in the movie because I assumed there was, just based on how massive he was. Yeah, I think the only reason there wasn't was because they didn't want to deter from they didn't want steroid use to seem like that was the problem, even though that's not necessarily a good thing. So I don't think so. Anyways, I don't think steroid use is a good thing, but they didn't want to deter from the actual problem, which was the opioids.
Yeah, steroids aren't good. This does have a lot to do with the movie, but that just made me think of Ozempic and everyone that's using Ozempic now. Like, so steroids, obviously, like people want to get huge, get real big muscles. You don't need that, right? But it's bodybuilders, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Ozempic, now everyone's like super skinny. Like even people that weren't fat before take it, and like they just look sickly, look like skeletons.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the obsession is with being so extreme either on either end, like why does it need to be that way? It's weird.
I think humans are just extreme in general. Like
very vague.
We want the biggest of the big and we want the smallest of the small. We want we can't just have it in between. Like we're never satisfied.
It's gotta be extreme.
Never
extreme measures.
You know what? I'm gonna take Ozempic and steroids at the same time, see what happens, I'm just gonna get like this. Oh yeah, and then the other thing Mark Kerr said was that the steroid use, one of the things that he felt like it was like if you didn't take steroids back then, it felt like bringing a knife to a gunfight, like because everyone was doing it. So if you didn't do it, you were gonna be screwed out there because the other guy was on steroids, And I remember him also saying something like, even when the testing did start happening, they weren't really testing. Like they didn't really check. Like no one went to go watch you pee in a cup. Like they'd give you a cup pee in, and then he would just like he said you just look around and be like, who's clean, And then you just hand it off to somebody else, and they do a pee in it, and then they give it back, Like there was
That's
no
crazy.
real like enforcement for it, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Another thing I thought was super interesting was Benny Safdie left the production of Saturday Night Live, not Saturday Night Live, Saturday Night, the movie about
Mhm.
Saturday Night Live. He was going to play Andy Kaufman, but he left to go make this movie, which he would have killed it as Andy Kaufman. I think he kind of resembles him a little bit. I think they could have really
Yeah.
made him look like him, and then also too, he's a good actor. Um, he acted in one of his own movies. I think he's acted in a couple of his own movies. But the one I saw him in was in Good Time.
Okay.
He plays a character who's a little, I don't know what like what it is. I don't know if he's like autistic or if he's just like a little like slow or whatever. But he plays a character like that,
Mhm.
and he played it so well that I thought they actually hired like someone that was like that, you know?
Huh.
Because I didn't know of the Safdie brothers when I watched it a long time ago,
Right.
so I didn't know who he was. I thought that was actually how he was. And then another thing, which we talked about on the podcast before, was that this movie got a 15-minute standing ovation at the Venice Film Festival, and Dwayne Johnson shed some tears about it, which has got to be really rewarding, you know?
Right.
Like he's been typecasted for so long, to actually have a chance to show how good he actually is at acting.
Yeah.
To have the opportunity, and then have it be so well received, that's got to be awesome.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's something. Actually, I don't think I even talked about this last time, but I think that's something that the Safdie brothers have done well with. In a way, they've kind of done what Tarantino does. But I think Tarantino, what he's good at doing, he's good at taking old actors who are kind of like already on their way out and maybe already kind of being pushed out by Hollywood, and then bringing them back in. Be like, look, this person still got it, you know. He did that with the girl from Jackie Brown. What's her name again?
I haven't seen Jackie Brown.
You haven't seen Jackie Brown?
No.
Jackie Brown's pretty good.
It's in the bucket. I put it in there.
Nice. I like Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
I think it's a movie that no one talks about for Tarantino, but it's
True.
Pam Grier. Pam Grier. She plays Jackie Brown, and she was in like a black exploitation actress back in like the 70s, I think. And he brought her back for this movie, and she killed it. And then he did the same thing with
For Travolta.
Travolta.
Fiction.
Yep, John Travolta. Yep. And then he did the same thing for who's the guy that plays in Kung Fu?
Can't remember his name. David Carradine.
David Carradine. Yeah. So he did the same thing with him. So Tarantino was good at doing that, right? The Safdie brothers, I think what they're good at doing is they're good at taking an actor who has been undermined in a way, who hasn't been given the opportunity to really show their true talents. Which I think Adam Sandler, right, in Uncut Gems, I think he showed his talents in Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people have seen the movie, and also too, it's still kind of a comedy, right? So he's still kind of playing within that same range that he's playing in. And for forever, Adam Sandler was, casted as a comedy person and a rom-com person.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, Spanglish is kind of comedy, but it's
same.
a more serious role for him. And then also, what was that 9/11 movie that he did?
9/11 movie.
I'm forgetting what it's called, but he's really good in that one. That's pretty much a serious role for him too.
Reign Over Me. Is that one?
That's it. That one. Yeah, that's a real good movie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He kind of plays like a very depressed person in this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he lost his family, which
that's right.
Understandable.
That's right. I remember now.
But he's a great actor, and he's often overlooked.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
it's just funny with the Uncut Gems. He said that if he wasn't given an Oscar for it, that he was going to then make the worst movie ever. So this next movie was Hubie Halloween, which I actually really like. Hubie Halloween.
Yeah, I actually don't mind.
But, yeah.
But yeah, and that's and then same with Robert Pattinson. Everyone he was being
Yeah.
typecasted too as like this um cute guy. What's the word?
Yeah. Heartthrob.
Heartthrob. There you go. He's been casted as a
Yeah.
heartthrob, and everyone just knew him as the Twilight guy. And then the Safdie brothers took him and put him in a serious role. And then with their style of filmmaking, like I said, it gives like the actors a solid chance to really just show their range and show emotion because the camera's like right here, and it sits
Yeah.
there. It's not like one of they're not one of those directors where it's gonna cut every 3 seconds. They will let you sit with it, So
Mhm.
the actor has to be on point, and it really gives them a chance to just shine,
Yeah.
I think that's it for fun facts for me. I don't remember if there's anything else, to be quite honest. Do you want to move on to the two suggestions? Do you want to move on to suggestions?
Suggestions. Yeah.
Suggestions and recommendations.
Yeah, I would suggest The Wrestler,
Wrestler.
with Mickey Rourke, and also The Fighter, the
Nice.
Christian Bale and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, that's a good movie,
It is.
That's
Yeah.
a really good movie. I would suggest The Smashing Machine. Not the same movie. It's a documentary. There's a documentary that came out in 2002, and it is pretty much the same story, but real life. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but kind of want to watch it now. And then Warrior is another movie I would recommend. It's a UFC movie about two brothers that have to face off against each other in the UFC, and it's based on a true story as well. So it's a good movie. I like the movie. And then the third movie I would recommend is Rocky 3. This was a movie that Benny Safdie said was one of the inspirations for this movie. And you even get kind of like a bit of that training arc feel where he's like running up the stairs and everything, just like in Rocky. And it's also about like a character who has a fall from grace. He gets defeated by Mr. T, and then he has to go train with Carl Weathers to, be the GOAT again. Something else, real quick. I want to go back to a fun fact, actually, because it reminded me. Benny Safdie said that one of the inspirations was A Wonderful Life, and which I thought was super fascinating because that's not what you would think of when you see the Smashing Machine. But the inspiration came from the scene where he just lost his fight and he's talking to Emily Blunt about the loss, and she's not really listening to him. And he's trying to convey his feelings to her, like, oh, well, the thousands of people cheering me on, like that's like the best feeling ever, and I didn't really get that this time. And she's just like, yeah, but you just fought right now, so you should feel that, right? And she's like, no, it's not this. I lost. It's not the same, But she's not listening, and so he's kind of cold with her, and then Igor shows up, the guy who beat him, and then he's like all smiles and cheery and being like, oh, like, you got stitches? How many stitches did you get? That was for me? Oh, that's cool, whatever, right? And then he's like, let's all get a picture. And then he gives the camera to Emily Blunt to take a picture. And there's a scene in A Wonderful Life where Jimmy Stewart, he's meeting his brother at the train, and he meets his brother's wife, and the wife's talking to him, and she's like, "Oh yeah, my dad offered him a job," and Jimmy Stewart's face kind of goes blank and goes into like a devastated face because his brother's supposed to take over the business. It was supposed to be his brother's turn to take over the business. He's going to pass on the torch, and then Jimmy Stewart's going to go see the world because that was his whole life plan, to go see the world. And so he's devastated, and then as he's walking back to the group of people, he puts on a smile for everybody else. So, and we know it's not a genuine smile. He's just putting it on so that, he's kind to everybody else, because everybody else is within that same situation that he's in. So he's putting on a front. And so Benny Safdie actually sent this scene to Dwayne Johnson to watch, so you can understand the transition of moods in which he was supposed to go in. And Benny Safdie is such a good director, and he knows where to put the camera. In that scene, when you're watching The Rock and Emily Blunt talk, it's kind of a moment between them. But then as soon as Igor comes in, Benny Safdie really focuses the camera on Emily Blunt, and the reason being is because it really shows you how she's feeling from the outside in. She's on the outside of all of this fighting stuff, and she wants to be a part of it. She wants to understand it. And she wants to be that person that Mark Kerr can go to kind of talk about these things and feel the same way he's feeling with his Igor friend, but she doesn't get those feelings from him because, one, she's not listening, and two, she's not a fighter, so she doesn't understand. And Mark Kerr and Igor have this level of understanding that she doesn't quite get, and so she's feeling left out. And then so Benny Safdie puts the camera on her to the point where at the end, when they're taking the picture, the camera's not even really on them as they're taking the picture. It's on her, so you can see her tears drop because she's such a good scene. Benny Safdie is a good director. And that's all I have for suggestions. So,
All right, cool.
Let's move on to the bucket pool movie. Last episode, we pulled Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb.
Yes.
How did you like this movie, Eric?
I liked this movie a lot, actually. I thought it was really funny, which I was not expecting from Stanley Kubrick. I actually didn't really know anything about this movie going in. So I was really surprised by how funny it was. And it's very satirical. It's about nuclear warfare, which not funny at all. But, yeah, so he takes this and he does his thing, and the movie's hilarious. And Peter Sellers, who you may know from The Pink Panther, he has three different roles in this movie. He plays the president, a British soldier, and Dr. Strangelove, the title character, which you don't even meet until like halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
But all of them are great. They're good characters, and he kills it. And I think my favorite character is the pilot.
Yeah.
His name, but the actor is Slim Pickens.
Yeah.
He was really cool.
Major
And you
Kong,
also see,
right?
is that it? It might be.
Yeah, Major Kong. Yeah. Yep. Slim
Yeah,
Pickens, yeah.
and you also see a young, what's his name? Mufasa, James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome to see him. I didn't know he was in this movie.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that was dope. I watched this movie on the plane on the way back home from Salem, and I didn't realize how good of a plane movie it was going to be. It was because half the movie takes place on a plane. So I was like, oh, this is really fitting. And like the opening scene is in-flight refueling, So I was like, wow, this is a solid plane movie. But it was hilarious, and I loved it. And I have a bit of a rant to go on with this movie.
Yes.
And Eric's already heard it, so sorry, brother. But the audience I think the audience needs to hear this because
They do. Yes.
Yeah, I love that Kubrick is a genius, and it's his only comedy in his whole filmography, and it's on nuclear warfare, which is crazy because that's not a funny topic, but he makes it funny, and that's only Kubrick, I think, could do that. And not only is it a solid critique on humanity, but it pinpoints our paradoxical nature, using humor to emphasize the ridiculousness of our societal foundations in which we've built our civilization on. This movie came out right at the height of the Cold War. I didn't know like that much about the Cold War before watching this movie, and afterwards I kind of looked more into it because I wanted to understand the movie more. I did poorly in high school and school in general. I never paid attention, so like when they taught us about the Cold War, I wasn't listening. So all I really know is that it was everyone had nuclear weapons. Not everyone, but us and Russia and maybe some other people. And it was a lot of dick flexing, as I would call it. Like, hey, I got some missiles. You better not mess with me, or else I'll blow you up. And that was pretty much all I knew. So the U.S. and NATO had a foreign policy, and it was called massive retaliation, which pretty much meant that if you bring any kind of military force near our country, whether it be missiles or just even soldiers, we're going to nuke the fuck out of you. And pretty much the entire world. And once Russia was able to actually create nuclear weapons of themselves, the U.S. doubled down and created MAD, which means mutually assured destruction, which pretty much means if you nuke us, well, we'll nuke you too, and we'll all die. And so this movie is just about how crazy and cartoonish the world was at that time, and destroying the Earth just to show the force and power of your country is cartoonishly silly. Like that's something you'd only see in Looney Tunes and like in Animaniacs or Pinky and the Brain, you know, or Dexter's Laboratory or something, you know, where the maniacal villain is like, wah! And like trying to destroy the world for no apparent reason other than just because they can. And so, Kubrick does a really good job at making fun of all of that. And there's some things that I thought were really cool in it, like the shots on the inside, like in the war room and in the what's the name, Jack the Ripper's office. All those shots are all really steady. They're all meticulous. They're all smooth. But then you go to shots on the outside, and you have like all this shakiness with the soldiers, like everything's madness and whatever. And I like that because it kind of shows that the people on the inside are the ones pulling the strings, and they don't really have to deal with the repercussions of their decisions. And it sort of kind of remind me of War Pigs by Black Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. I loved all the scenes in the war room. I thought those every time I went to the war room, I was like really excited because I knew something funny was about to happen. It's like everyone in there is so egotistical and so like stupid that that it was always really hilarious. And one of my favorite lines was when the Russian ambassador shows up and he tried to plant the camera on him and they start fighting, and the president goes over there. He's like, "Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is a war room." And the sentence itself is so ironic. It reminded me of something that'd be like in a Gene Wilder film. I could totally see Gene Wilder delivering that line so well.
Yeah, speaking of how cartoonish it is, Dr. Strangelove is the basis for Dr. Scratch and
Sniff, yeah.
Yeah, in Animaniacs.
Yeah.
Like the voice is the same. Obviously, different voice actor, but that's totally what they're going for.
That's so funny, yeah, because like I forgot about that character in Animaniacs until you mentioned it, and I was like, oh yeah, that is the inspiration.
Yeah, that's totally it.
Yeah. Which is funny. Like I said, it's so cartoonish. It's so crazy. And then there's a lot of themes about sex and war in this movie. I think war being the most obvious one and in your face, and sex was a bit more subliminal. Like you have to kind of look for all the sex stuff in the movie, like it's as if it's like an Easter egg, you know. And I think that's purposefully done. Obviously, I mean Kubrick. I don't think he does anything without intention. All of his movies are very meticulous and intentional, and so much so that people are still debating the meanings of his other films like The Shining and Eyes Wide Shut because they're trying to pinpoint all the symbolism and all the Easter eggs and all the what Kubrick was really trying to convey with those movies.
Yeah.
And he was just on another level that like people still can't decode those movies. And the only person who would know and would be able to tell you is no longer here, unfortunately. But I think the sex being subliminal is genius because I think for me, anyways, one of my theories is that that's like the biggest, like the main reason why humanity has progressed thus far is sex. You know, so much so that women will overlook personality or for money and security, and men know this and will purposely like go out of their way to become really successful and to create like these facade, these egos to obtain more power and money to get more women, and to the point where like if you have a lot of money and you have a lot of power, sometimes you end up with harems, you know, because that's what gives you access to. Now I'm not saying like, you know, that's how life is. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like that's transactional, you know, but that's just based off of you know, life and seeing people with power and money and all the women that surround them. It feels like it goes hand in hand, you know, like Dan Bilzerian or Andrew Tate, right? And these aren't at all people to be idolized, I don't think, but that's just if you go to their Instagrams, you know, like
Yeah.
the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, no, you said it. That reminds me of the Jerry Seinfeld joke, where he has a joke about men honking at girls in cars, like they see a girl walking and they honk. Like, what do they expect them to do? Just like take the heels off and run after him? It's like, well, thank goodness you honked.
Yeah.
But then he's like, and that's why we took the part of the moon, just in case there were women there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so funny, yo. That's so true though. But yeah, it's I think because of this, it's progressed humanity to like ridiculous heights and achievements.
Yeah.
And some of the sex Easter eggs that are in there is that, you know, one of the generals is fooling around with what seems to me to be like almost like an underage girl. She's very young. She calls him while she's talking to the president.
Yeah.
And then the soldiers have like pictures, like Playboy pictures in their plane. He like opens up a panel to like hit some switches, and there's some Playboy pictures. And then the only reason Jack the Ripper makes the decision to execute Wing Attack R is because of his fluids, right? He's saying that like he can't get an erection anymore, and he's blaming it on the water, and he thinks he's so brainwashed and so paranoid with the Cold War situation that he blames the Russians for contaminating the U.S. water, which is why he can't get hard anymore, and that's why he decides to attack him. So the whole reason he holds the entire world and the audience hostage is because he can't get hard.
Yeah. And, yeah, and him thinking that the Russians have attacked in some way is what gave him the ability to call the attack, and you know, without the president say
Right.
so.
Yeah. And Wing Attack R is so funny because it's just such like a catch-22. Like he's like when they're talking about it, he's like actually, sir, you approved of this Wing Attack R, and when Wing Attack R happens, they're supposed to shut down all the phone lines so we can't contact them. he's like, why would we do that? He's like, I don't know. You said it was cool, like, you know, like
Like you agreed with it.
Yeah.
You can't stop it.
Yeah. And then the opening shot of the two planes doing the in-flight refueling, it's kind of a way in itself a sexual innuendo, you know? It's like almost a sexual image, and it's of these two giant war machines. So the opening shot perfectly encapsulates the themes of the movie, which is, genius on Kubrick. Kubrick's a genius. Then the part where Major Kong rides the nuke down to the world and explodes the Earth. The shot, the way the camera is angled, it almost looks like the missile itself is an extension of his genitalia.
Yeah.
Another thing I looked into it, and another thing I thought was super cool was the music, because I wasn't super familiar with the music. So and there's only 4 songs, well, technically 3 songs in this movie, and there's no score. So I forget what the first song is about, but there's a song that comes on like 10 minutes after the intro, and it's the ants go marching in song. Dun, 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 dun. So that song, it's actually there's multiple songs that melody and cadence it goes to, and I think a lot of us know it as the ants go marching in, but it was actually created as a pro-war song, and there's called Johnny Comes Marching Home. It's pretty much about this brother coming back home, like it's like a sister singing the song, I think, and it's about a brother coming back home from the war, and everybody's celebrating because now he's like a war hero, he survived, and the town's all happy, and they won the war and all this and that, so very pro-war. And the other song that goes to that same cadence and melody is called Johnny, I Hardly Knew Ye, and it was written about a woman who runs into her former lover who actually got her pregnant and then left to go to war, and then she runs into him after the fact, and he's lost his eyesight and he's lost all of his limbs, and she still gets back together with him, but he's not at all the same person he was before the war, and that's why it's called Johnny, I Hardly Knew Ye, and it's very anti-war. So the song itself is a paradox. You know, it has 2 meanings, which again, genius on Kubrick. Yeah. So and because it just plays the instrumentals, you can't tell which song it's referring to. I think that's kind of the point. It's up to the audience to kind of figure out which one it would be, whether it's pro-war or anti-war. And then the 2 bombs at the end, they have some writing on it on the back, and one says "Hi there," and the other says "Dear John," right? And those 2 missiles represent the 2 songs. "Hi there" being Johnny Comes Marching Home, and "Dear John" meaning Johnny, I Hardly Knew You. So her writing to Johnny while he's at the war. And it's kind of fitting that Major Kong rides the one that says "Hi there" down to Earth. And then the thing I thought was the most fascinating and the coolest thing, I think, is the ending of the movie, and with all the nukes going off and the song in the background. And the song's called "We'll Meet Again." And the whole movie though it's a comedy, it's pretty pessimistic about humanity. And the only bit of optimism we really get is when Dr. Strangelove stands up and says, "I could walk," and he takes like a couple steps, and then the bomb drops and the song starts. And the song is such an optimistic, feel-good song. It makes you feel good, even though the most atrocious thing ever just happened to the Earth, and everyone's going to die. I think that juxtaposition is also to kind of, in a way, like a paradox as well. It's like a feel-good, like it's making you feel good, but it's also like a terrible, terrible thing that's happening. The song We Meet Again is from a musical from 1943. And the movie and the song itself was supposed to be kind of like a propaganda piece for World War II. And it got really popular and people loved it and it would play everywhere. And when people were going to war, people would sing it out of their windows to the soldiers that were leaving the war, because it just was so welcomed by everybody. Everybody loved it. The song became so popular that the UK, they had a radio broadcast that was supposed to play for 100 days after a nuclear fallout. They made this broadcast thing during the Cold War, and just in case a nuclear fallout were to happen, this radio broadcast would play for 100 days, and it was just supposed to play like information, like safety, survival tips, and some like optimistic music to boost morale. And that song was one of the songs that was on that radio broadcast. So it's extremely fitting for this movie and for the nuclear fallout, because it was supposed to be played just in case there was a nuclear fallout. And yeah, it's, I think, one of the best endings in a movie I've ever seen. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Dr. Strangelove at the end there, after the bombs go off, and he's telling the president his plan of survival and how they have to move underground and stuff. I think it's funny that basically his plan is just eugenics.
Yeah, it's like cave eugenics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's so funny too that like he obviously was like a Nazi.
Yeah.
Prior to becoming like a consultant in a way to the president. He came here from Germany, and I don't know how he got this. Maybe he's just a genius, and so he became like a consultant for the president. And he's no longer a Nazi, but his right arm is still a Nazi, which is why he's like always fighting with it, And he's like constantly doing the Heil Hitler thing, and he's like having to smack his arm down. Yeah, and I think it's so funny. It just shows how stupid and egotistical the people in power are, where they're listening to someone who was a former Nazi speak of Nazi ethics and be like, oh yeah, doesn't it sound like a bad idea, like.
Yeah.
And yeah. It was great.
And also I had said that reminds me of Silver Surfer, the Silver Surfer Requiem, where he learns that he's dying, and he finds out from Reed Richards, and he's going to go back to his planet to spend a little time he has left there. And on the way there, he comes across this planet that these two alien races are at war with each other, and they have these big statues made in like the image of whoever their leaders are. And the Silver Surfer goes up in space, and it's where these two leaders of these people are. And they're just hanging out, chilling, drinking wine and stuff. And he's like, what are you guys doing? Like, your people are down here killing themselves. And they're like, they don't care. They don't want to be bothered. It's like,
they don't give a fuck.
Whatever, let them do their thing. And so the Silver Surfer goes down there and he destroys these big statues of them. Just to be like, show them, like, hey, these guys that you guys worship and care about, they don't care about you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Silver Surfer. That's just how it be, yo.
Yeah.
Tale as old as time.
Yep. They're safe in their bunkers or wherever they are, and they don't care what happens to you.
Yeah. Or that one song by System of a Down. What's that one song called? Why do the presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know the song. I can't think of the title of the song right now. Roses is falling into
for our protection. Yet they feed us lies from the tablecloth. What is that called?
I can only think of two songs. It's
BYOB. BYOB.
That's it. Yeah.
We figured it out, people. I'm sure there's so many people that
bring
were listening
your own
to this.
bombs.
Yeah, bring your own bombs. I'm sure there's so many people that are listening to this and they're like, It's
Probably
BYOB. It's BYOB. It's like trying to shake her next to the screen.
Yeah.
On some Homer Simpson shit. So in the last episode that we recorded, that was technically this episode, but didn't work. We did the bucket pool, and Eric has this new fancy Halloween goblet.
Yeah. So I've had this for a while. It's my D&D chalice. All right. It's a mind flayer.
And he drinks some potions out of there. He drinks
Drink the blood of my enemies.
I was gonna say what is it that the Native Americans used to take? Peyote. Drinks peyote out of there as he's DMing.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, we pulled a movie from here. Got some spooky October Halloween suggestions,
Yep.
and this is the one that we pulled. I put it up there on top.
Yep.
And it is The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah! That's so awesome. I was just talking about how much I want to watch that movie.
I'm excited too, though. I haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen a lot of like classic horror stuff, and I'd like to. So I'm excited.
Agreed. I've been meaning to watch some more classic horror. Of the classic horror, I've only seen Dracula, I think. Yeah. So.
Speaking of, did you see the trailer for the new Bride movie, like the Bride Frankenstein?
How do you feel about that,
I think
Eric?
it looks good.
You like it?
I think it looks good. Yeah.
I love Christian Bale. Jake Gyllenhaal's in it too. It's directed by his sister.
By Maggie.
Yeah. And I think it could be good. I think it could be good. I don't know how I like the whole like Frankenstein being like a mafia thug guy. Like it feels like a bit like how Jared Leto Joker was, and I wasn't a huge fan of that one, to be quite honest. But I'm gonna go see it anyways, just because I love Christian Bale. Like he's one of the goats.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. And
do you
from there, did we do what we've been watching?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, what we've been watching. Yeah.
Cool. Last time we recorded, actually, I forgot to mention this. I watched Big Bold Beautiful Journey. Right? I didn't
Oh, you did?
that last time? Yeah.
How was it?
As I told my friend when the movie ended, that was neither big nor bold.
So it's just a journey.
Yeah, I mean it's good and it is beautiful, that part. But I don't know, I was expecting a little bit more, and honestly, like I was really connecting with Colin Farrell's character. Yeah. So it like opens with him, and it has like this color theme throughout, which I saw it, but I don't know what it's supposed to mean.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, the movie starts. Spoilers.
I don't know if I want to hear it. I want to see the movie.
Okay, well, I don't want to say too much. But the movie starts with Colin Farrell's character. And he's on the phone with his parents. He's going to a wedding by himself. And he's like, oh, you should go with someone, whatever. And he's like, I'm fine being alone, which I am also fine being alone. At the wedding, he's off by himself. He goes out for a cigarette. I don't smoke, but I would go outside by myself at a wedding. Like, I do that.
With the Game Boy.
Like, I need to get away from all the noise sometimes.
Yeah.
And then, like, the girl comes out and is talking to him, and he says that when he was a kid, he once drew a picture of his future, and it's him with the bow tie. He's married, and he has 3 kids. Which again, that's all I ever wanted when I was a kid. It's like I just want to have a family. That's all I want. So I was so ready for this movie to really hit me, like right.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was expecting like this big like emotional connection, and just never got it throughout the journey. Like it's good, but it's like I said, it's not as big and bold as the title suggests. And I'll leave it
Yeah.
there.
What 2 adjectives would you use to describe this movie, Eric?
I feel kind of bad saying boring, but it was kind of boring.
Okay. Boring. What else? Just okay.
I don't know. It is fun. I would also say Burger King, which I don't know.
Burger King.
No, that probably doesn't make sense. Burger King plays a role in this movie.
All right, the boring Burger King journey. I guess that might make sense to somebody who's seen it, but
Yeah.
nice.
Uh,
What?
yeah,
What,
it could have been better. It's not terrible, but
I do want to check it out. If you want to see a better version of it, you can go watch Suzume. It's an anime.
yeah. And other than that, like I said, what I've been watching is Dancing with the Stars because Danielle Fishel's in it this season. And
That's right.
so I've been watching that. And
remember
this
you
last
telling
week was TikTok night, and she got a message
TikTok
because she was
night.
dancing to she was dancing to one of Sabrina Carpenter's songs, which I guess it's trending on TikTok, whatever.
Oh, okay.
And Sabrina Carpenter sent her a message because if you don't know, Sabrina Carpenter was her daughter's best friend in the follow-up show Girl Meets World.
Girl Meets World.
Yeah.
Such a good show. Not Girl Meets World. I don't ever really watched it, but I mean Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember saying I didn't really watch Girl Meets World. I tried to get into it, but it was too Disney Channel for me.
Yeah.
I felt silly watching it, so I didn't watch it. But I wanted to just because all the Boy Meets World characters are in it.
Yeah. I like all the Boy Meets World characters that come back.
And I love that show. It's like one of my favorite shows ever.
Yeah. One of the characters that came back was remember Tommy,
Yeah.
the little boy that Eric was going to adopt.
Uh-huh.
He comes back,
What?
and Eric comes back like in an episode, and yeah,
That's cool.
it was really good. Yeah, that episode of Boy Meets World though, that one's hard.
It's a
That
sad
one's
one.
rough.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the reasons I love Boy Meets World is because it was kind of a kids show, I guess, but it didn't really pertain to just kids. The show grew with the audience. So
Yeah.
when Corey was a kid, it was for kids. When Corey was in middle school, it was for middle schoolers / preteens. When Corey was in high school, it was for high schoolers. And Corey was in college, it was for college people and up. And
Yeah.
all around, it was a solid family show. And
Yeah, I mean the show follows him from when he's a boy, like 10 or 11, right?
yeah,
And
he grew up on that show.
yeah, he grows up and he gets married
Yeah.
in the last season, right? And the boy literally meets the world as he's growing up. Like that's the whole show.
Yeah.
And it's great because a lot of sitcoms like back then from like back kids and high school and stuff, they just keep them in high school. Like it's just, and
Yeah.
I don't know how many like freaking dances the kids in
Yeah, you're
Saved by
talking about
the Bell went to.
Saved by the
Yeah.
Bell last time.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
and then they're like part of everything. Like AC Slater's the captain of like every sports team. Like,
Yeah.
and it's just like, how are they involved in everything, and yet all they ever do is pull pranks and hang it at the max.
Yeah. Yeah. Zach grew
Oh, no.
3 feet in that show.
Yeah,
By the time it ends, they look like they're 30. But yeah, it's a great show. I think this is the only show that does that, like grows with its audience. I
Yeah.
can't think of another one that does.
I don't know. Like even like more modern shows where usually dramas that take place in high school.
I think if any shows try to, they might
Like-
get canceled before they even get that
Yeah,
far.
well, that's they're kids in high school, but like the drama and stuff is all very adult. Like stuff they go through is crazy, and then they stay in high school a little longer than they should. Because if they ever get out of high school, that's when like the show's over.
Yeah.
It's just it's different. So
Yeah. And I think one of my favorite episodes is actually when Corey and Sean become alcoholics. Well, Corey doesn't really become an alcoholic. He just tries it one time.
when they start drinking,
But you get Sean into it, and then Sean takes it too far. But that episode, I think, is so crucial for kids like at teenage years watching that show, because that's when people in America usually start experimenting with alcohol, is in high school. And yet, like TV, ratings and stuff. What is it when they when they give it like a like PG-13 or whatever TV?
like TV 14 or something.
Yeah, what is that, like a rating? I guess.
Yeah, TV ratings are different, but yeah, I think it's TV 14, and then there's TV MA.
Yeah, so TV ratings, right? They don't want you to show alcohol to kids, right? But these kids, they end up experimenting with it before the TV rating even allows them to see it, you know? So, like, and that's what I love about Boy Meets World. You know, it's able to stay a family show while still showing and telling important lessons. Yeah. So it's a great show.
It is.
We talk about it a lot, but there's a reason why. Okay, it's a great show.
There is. It's a great show.
But let's move on. What other anything else have you been watching?
No, that's it.
Nice. I watched quite a bit. Because I was in Salem. I watched a movie on the plane there, which was Ballerina, and it was really cool. I had been meaning to watch Ballerina for a minute, and I liked it a lot because in a lot of action movies where you have female leads, for example, Birds of Prey, right? They act like these women have like super strength, like they can just like, you know what I mean? Like they punch like a 300-pound man, and the 300-pound man flies through a window, like it's like that doesn't feel like real physics, okay? And then at that point it just feels silly almost, right? But in Ballerina, they use her weakness as her strength. She's sparring with a dude, and she keeps losing, and her teacher's like, why are you losing? And she's like, I don't know, he's stronger than me. And she's like, no, you suck. It's not because he's stronger, it's because you suck, pretty much. Do anything you can to win. Lie, chill, lie, steal, cheat, do whatever you need to do to win the fight, because men are going to be stronger than you. That's just a fact. So figure out how to win. And she does that. She takes that lesson and does that throughout the movie. And that's dope. That feels, even though it's a crazy action movie and it feels like everything in it is probably damn near impossible, but it feels more grounded in reality as far as female leads go, And I like that. I like that a lot. And then I watched Zack and Miri Make a Porno. It was on TV while I was at Salem. It was on this thing called Movie Hub, which I'd never heard of before, but it was like a censored version of Zack and Miri Make a Porno. They cut out the poop scene. Yeah. So
you don't get to see Jeff Anderson get frosted like a cupcake.
Darn it. It's my favorite part. No, just kidding. Yeah. Funny movie.
That movie apparently had a really hard time marketing because it had porno in the title.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
And the posters were like all just like stick figures because they couldn't show anything.
That's funny, yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because I guess during the day for the TV ads, the movie was just called Zack and Miri.
All right.
But like after a certain time, they could put the real title of the movie up. So Kevin Smith was saying that, like, Zack and Miri just sounds like fun little rom-com. Like you could take your
so
mom.
Funny,
yeah.
Yeah. That's hilarious. What something I thought was interesting actually while I was watching it. When I first saw the movie, I was in high school, and I didn't put it together that this is like Kevin Smith's Inception. Let me explain that real quick. Let me explain that real quick. So
Yeah.
Kevin Smith, right? He made Clerks, and he made it like just off where he worked, the coffee shop in Zachamere. He made it with his friends, the people he worked with at the coffee shop, and then he kind of just pulled out loans on credit cards to fund it.
Yeah.
And Zach Amiri is Make a Porno is literally his story about him pretty much making Clerks.
Yeah.
And Christopher Nolan, right? And Inception is, and pretty much any heist movie is about the filmmaking process. You have a director or someone who comes up with the idea to create this movie, who wants to create this movie, and then you have to go out and find people who are willing to fund it, work in it, and you have to try to build pretty much the A team to make your movie become a reality. And Inception is pretty much exactly that, where the Japanese dude, he's the producer, right? I think.
Yeah.
And or maybe he's like the guy who creates the idea. I forget. And Leonardo DiCaprio, he's the director, right? And so on and so forth, right? You can look it up.
Yeah.
There's information about it.
Makes sense.
But yeah, and any heist movie is pretty much the filmmaking process. And Christopher Nolan's Inception is him being a master of what he does, is perfecting the heist movie and really correlating the movie making process with the heist. What's her face? Well, what's his face now? I guess
Elliot Page.
Elliot Page. I was trying to figure out what their new name was, so that I don't want to dead name them. Elliot Page. They're pretty much like the set design person, right? She does all the architecture in the movie. So, anyways, so that's Zach Amir Make a Porno. It's Kevin Smith's Inception,
which Kevin Smith did again, only this time actually making Clerks 3.
Oh right, yeah.
Which is what that movie's about. Yeah.
Yeah. People always say, write what you know, and I think Kevin Smith is really good at that.
He is, yeah.
Then I watched Prestige. Speaking of Christopher Nolan, I watched The Prestige.
Right. Yeah.
And that movie's amazing. I love that movie. I think it's an underrated Christopher Nolan movie. We were getting ready to leave Salem. We were packing up our stuff and we were in the hotel room. And I was like, let's just put a movie on in the background. And it was between Prestige and something else. And Natalie was like, I've never seen The Prestige. And I was like, what? It's a really good movie. So I put it on. And I found myself only packing during the commercials because every time the movie would come on, I'd just be like, like I was just so like that movie just pulls you in. It's so good, and I like magic and magician stuff, and I like puzzles and stuff like that too. And so that whole movie is that the whole movie is a magic trick. It's a magic trick about magicians doing magic tricks. Christopher Nolan, he's so good at that, like a dream within a dream within a dream. He's so good at doing that. Yeah, and Natalie really liked it. She was like, "This is really good," and I was like, "Yeah, that's a solid movie." Let's do final thoughts. Let's do final thoughts, and then we'll talk about what we're watching next episode.
Okay. So,
final thoughts on the Smash Machine.
The Smash Machine, starring Dwayne Johnson. I liked it. It's good. Trying to remember what I said last time. First, I like the scene with Emily Blunt on the ride. I thought that was shot really well. She's turning upside down and stuff.
Yeah,
that was a cool scene. Even though I hate her character, it's a cool scene. And also Mark. So spoilers, people. Although Josh did mention it earlier, he loses a fight.
Yeah.
And he's devastated. Emily Blunt's character doesn't know how to help him, and this is when he's at the height of his addiction to painkillers. So he loses his fight, and he's devastated, doesn't know how to react. Like, even before it happens in an interview, I ask him, like, what are you going to do if you lose? And he's like, I don't know. That's never happened. I don't see that really being an option, like, or something that can happen, because I always win.
Right.
He doesn't, like, he cannot fathom losing, and then it happens, and it's devastating. Anyway, he gets clean, goes to rehab. He's at this tournament at the end of the movie, and he loses again. Only this time, after everything he's been through, he's now able to take the loss and continue.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like in a better mental headspace. He's more mentally healthy by the time he loses again. So he's actually able to, process the loss way better than he did before when he was using and when he had never lost before.
Yeah.
I think this story is actually kind of a story that isn't told often. We talked a little bit about it during the Him episode, about someone who kind of really embodies their entire identity with something, whether it be football or UFC. And actually, another movie that does this, Kiki's Delivery Service. She like identifies with riding her broom, being able to ride her broom and fly really well, and then she starts focusing on other things in her life, and she slowly loses her ability to fly, and she doesn't know what to do, and she kind of loses her identity for a second. And I think that's Miyazaki's way of talking about, because as an artist, this happens all the time, is when there's the person that helps her get out of it is actually an artist. She's a painter. When you're drawing and you're an artist, there's a lot of times where you go paint or draw, and you're just not as good as you were the day before. Like, you're just having an off day, and it feels like you suck. Like, it feels like I should just quit now, you know. And so I think that's Miyazaki's way of talking about that. But a real life thing that I think is actually super relevant to this movie is Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey, she was killing it, undefeated. She was at the top of her game. She was like becoming like the face of the female UFC, right? And then she loses, and it was just like a downward spiral for her. And it was actually kind of sad to watch, and it was kind of really sad to see like people just clowning her for it,
Yeah.
And I think she's actually gone on and talked about it on podcasts and stuff now, but it's been years. Like, it took her so long to process that loss.
Yeah.
And she did so many other things afterwards. She started doing movies. She did wrestling. And honestly, I haven't even heard or seen of her in a minute. I don't know what she's doing now.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it took her a really long time to process that loss. And you got to think that's got to be devastating for someone who is the best at something.
Yeah.
And they get dethroned. Like, how do you deal with that loss? And when there's in Mark Kerr's interview in the movie, he's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know how to answer that question. I've never lost before. Yeah. And that's literally how it feels for him and for Ronda Rousey. When they lose, they didn't know what to do with themselves. Like, what is even this feeling,
Yeah.
So, I think that's something that should be talked about more, and I think for a lot of people, when the best gets dethroned, they want to just like kick them while they're down. Yeah. You thought you was, like, come on, bro, that's so mean. People are assholes.
They are.
But yeah. I don't really know, in the last time we recorded, I don't know what else I said about this movie, but that is something I did want to talk about that I didn't talk about last time. So,
yeah. We talked a little bit more about Emily Blunt's character. And when he goes to rehab and is doing better,
right.
She is upset that he no longer needs her help. Like he doesn't have to rely on her
Yeah.
so much as he did before, and so she's upset because um, she's not like the focus of his attention. Like and she preferred it when he needed her,
Yeah.
as opposed to him being healthy, which is not good. It's not a
Not at all
kind
good.
of good thing.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that reminds me. It reminded me of what I said last time. Was there's a couple scenes in this movie that reminded me and Natalie of our relationship, and not saying Natalie's at all as crazy as Emily Blunt in this movie. And not that she, I don't think my girlfriend's like anywhere near like that at all. But like it was more so scenes that reminded us of me, because I'm a former addict, still technically an addict. I don't think he stopped being an addict, to be quite honest. I've been to rehab a couple times now, and like I think when I'm doing well in life and I'm on top of my game and I'm working out and I'm eating healthy and I'm doing what I got to do and everything's like I'm doing good. When I'm doing good and I'm feeling like I'm on a high horse, I kind of want to bring everybody else up with me, and I could
Yeah.
see how that could be annoying, and when someone else isn't doing well around me, say they're not eating well, and say like I'm at work and someone pulls out a cheeseburger, I'm gonna be like, bro, don't like, why are you doing that to yourself? And that's annoying. That's annoying to people, and
Yeah.
I think that's a bit how Emily Blunt's character was feeling when he was like getting on her about stuff, about the leaves, about the cactus, about the leaves, and sometimes I do that to Natalie too, and I think that's a bit of like my tism, like
Yeah.
like a little bit of tism that I might have. I think that's like I start getting very antsy about things, and I can't sit still, and I get kind of on her when she's not on the same wavelength as me, and
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah, and it's also that kind of reminds me of religion. When someone discovers religion and they're like all for it, they're super excited and want to tell everyone. They're like, "You need to come to church with me." It's kind of like that, right? Because you found something that makes you feel better and makes you a good person. Like that's how you feel. Like
yeah,
I can't speak for every religion, right? But
yeah,
um, uh, like that, they feel great and they want to bring other people in. Like I want you to know and feel what I know.
true, yeah,
Yeah, and the others that can be annoying. It's like I'm fine. I don't need your
yeah,
religion.
yeah, yeah, exactly,
But
yeah,
but yeah, and then when people are doing good and they're doing better for themselves, a lot of people who aren't, they don't want you to remind them of how bad they are or how bad they feel. And
Yeah.
so instead of working to get to where that person is and to feel better about themselves, they'd rather see that person fall.
yeah.
So
Exactly, yeah, and it's exactly
yeah,
that's exactly the dynamic that's happening in this movie. I mean,
yeah,
I should say, movie we're talking about when, especially in that scene in the kitchen,
yeah.
where they start bickering at
When
each
she's
other.
taking her pills,
Yeah, so
yeah,
he's trying to bring her up, she's trying to bring him down. Yeah, so
hmm
well said, brother, well said.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say about this movie, and we've been recording for quite some time. You got anything else?
yeah. I don't have anything else.
Um, next movie we're watching. Let them know, Eric. Let them know what we're watching next.
Watching Tron Ares.
Tron Ares.
I
Should be pretty cool.
literally just bought my ticket.
Nice.
Yeah,
Seeing it next Wednesday, so we should be able to record early, so that should give you more time to record. Unlike this episode, you're going to be crunching, Eric.
yeah. I am so stressed right now.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, yeah, don't worry about putting too many references up or anything like digital references up.
Yeah, no, it'll be fine. We're good.
You like the dog meme that's sitting in the fire?
Yeah, that's just my life.
Um, yeah. So that should be cool. If you guys want to, I think this is the cool thing about our podcast. I think we let you guys know what we're watching. most of the time. Sometimes, actually, we haven't been doing a lot, to be quite honest. But with the bucket pool thing, you know exactly what we're going to be watching. And if you two are on yourself like a film journey, you can, like that poster that Eric has behind him right there, that IMDb top 100. We're going to be going through like that whole list probably, you know. So if you yourself wanted to get more into film, understand film, study film the way we're studying film and the way we're watching film, you can join along with us. And I think that'd be super cool, because then you could watch the movies that we're watching, and then you could show up for the next podcast knowing exactly what we watched and exactly what we're talking about as we're talking about it. And you can contribute. You can put in your own 2 cents, what you thought about it. It's like a movie club, bro. It's like girls have book clubs. We have movie clubs, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm sure there's guys there too, but I always just see girls in book clubs.
Yeah. I mean, our family has a book club, like some of the girls do. And every time, like, they're at a family event, they start talking about books. I'm like, hey, I like books. Like, I'll read a book.
I'm making this face because I feel like a lot of girl book clubs, they watch like, they read like smut, you know?
They're erotica.
Yeah, like dragon dicks or something, you know?
Oh yeah, one a friend of mine was telling me about was a minotaur, like a milking minotaur
Wait,
erotic novel. Like, it sounded weird, man. I was like, I don't know if I'll read that one.
That's crazy, yo. Yeah. Natalie's been reading a lot more because all of her friends are suggesting her these books she's writing. She's reading the like Fourth Wing books right now, which is all dragon riders and sex stuff.
Dragon riders?
Yeah, they ride dragons and have sex. That's all I know about it.
Like Donkey from Shrek?
Yeah, exactly. So
I watched the first Shrek last night before D&D. So.
Nice. I love Shrek. But right, yeah, I think that'd be really cool. If you guys want to do that, you guys want to watch movies with us, I think y'all should. I think it'll be dope. We can start a little movie club. It'd be fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So that was it. That's it. That's the end of this podcast. I'm tired of talking to you guys, okay? So I hope you listened, and I hope you like and subscribe, and I hope you know that I love you guys, and that's it. That's the episode. All right.
That's it. All right.
Bye. Love you guys.